Welcome to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He is the author of the book Bold Voltage Out of Sync, no other than Mr. John D Wandzilak Jr. Welcome to Book 101, Mr. John, and can you please introduce more about yourself?
Absolutely. So, my name is John, and I am an author illustrator hailing from New Jersey in the US. I am 40 years old, parent and husband that is currently working on starting his own art business and recently fell into a character that my following online fell in love with. It started off as a simple project that I put a small story to, and it has snowballed into now a series of books that is going to be coming out starting this coming May.
This coming May, and congratulations, and thank
Thank you,
you
thank you.
for sharing your knowledge to the world. What sparked the idea for voltage out of sync?
So the main concept behind Bolt was post-apocalyptic human world. So humankind no longer exists, and machines have inherited the Earth. We, being an invasive species, have ravaged our planet, and now the machines are tracking the healing process of a planet. And in doing this, our main character, Bolt Voltage, starts glitching out mid-story and starts emulating human emotions, something his logic processor was not designed for, and he has to, much like a human first discovering their emotions, has to learn how to cope with the side effects of having human emotion in a world where he should not.
The side effect for sure. What does the title symbolize in the context of the story?
So, Bolt Voltage being the character, the title being out of sync, the whole point being this being his origin story is he is designed to observe, record, and just remember things he sees so that one day when someone comes for answers, what happened here, the answers are there. The data speaks for itself. But out of sync speaks to when he glitches, his primary objective seems to take almost a side seat or back seat to his own personal wants and needs. He starts to develop a sense of self, a sense of could I be lost? He starts to feel alive. And it kind of taps into some of the creative upbringing I have cinematically for like movies like Wall-E. And I mean, let's go all the way back to the 90s to Short Circuit, Johnny Five. So, like, it speaks to my generation in the sense of it's robotics, it's simple and cartoony to speak to kids. But really, I feel like the subject matter for the book, being it's a coloring slash storybook, has a good target audience of, say, 12 years old and up.
So this will be the evolution of Wall-E. Was the story inspired by current technological or societal issues?
Not so, I mean, yeah, I mean, it was definitely inspired by it. And I mean, I wouldn't say it's a continuation of Wally, but I'd say it's Wall-E adjacent. Um, so I spent the last 4 years, started this during COVID, online, doing a lot of my art business online, selling things to people, just like we're doing right now, face-to-face interactions through a phone screen. And in doing so, I got to learn a lot about the people that I dealt with on a regular basis. Much like if you worked in a retail store, you'd learn about your customers. Um, idiosyncrasies, insecurities, confidences, all things they possess, and all different behaviors they exude. So you have to find a way inside all that. And out of sync is a way to identify each different idiosyncrasy and show them that even though you and I are very different, we have a lot of things in common. You know, you're a host for a podcast, and I don't know where in the world you are, but you know what? At the end of the day, you have people that you answer to. There's someone that lives next door to you that you'd have a conversation with. That everyone has something that is a similar that brings us all into a unity. And I'm all about bringing community together. And that's what this book is going to do. It's going to offer an opportunity for communities to come together and self soothe collectively.
That will be awesome, Mr. John. Unity, indeed. Let's talk about the world building and setting. What kind of world of, or universe is Vault set in, and how did you go about creating it?
Well, so when I said I created him as a random art project, I didn't have much vision for him, but when I started working on the book, um, I had to. I wanted it to be a world where he could exist, but not have to focus on too many different um, characters. So I said, we're going to get rid of humans completely because we are the problem, and I want to try and solve problems in this book. So we put it probably about 200 years in the future. All right. Um, Humankind has kind of just like done whatever with the world. We've left, and the robots are behind, and now it's just overgrown nature, reclaiming the earth. All the buildings that we familiarized ourselves with now have, vines growing on them, windows are shattered. The animals of the planet haven't died, but the human presence on the planet I've wiped out completely from the storyline. So that's the kind of world you're looking at. I would say kind of Mad Max, but with a lot more greenery and not desolate. That's the world building I decided to put for the book. This way, it gives an opportunity to just focus on the emotions.
So, Mr. John, how does the concept of voltage out of sync affect characters or society in your story?
Well, I mean, so what I've learned from being online is that a lot of people have those different, like I said, the different personalities, but not everyone knows how to regulate their emotions. I mean, there's been people that went online and just screamed into a camera because they didn't know how to express their feelings any other way after certain recent events happen in our news, you know, um, political things that happened in the last 2 years. There was a lot of virology online behind just either crying on camera, screaming on camera, yelling on camera, being happy on camera, being a positive person all of those things. I'm trying to bring all of those personalities together, and that's the hard part is because society we automatically push all those things in different sections, and I'm trying to rejoin those walls so we could all stand together.
Let's check the characters and conflict. Who is the main protagonist and what is their central struggle?
So right now the only two characters in the book are Bolt Voltage, our main protagonist, and there's a secondary character called Optic Owl, and he just makes little cameos. He'll be important later in the series, but I wanted to introduce him in this book because it was just a character that I made with Bolt, and he's like a day one. So um, those are the only two characters in the book, and the only way they're gonna interact is going to be nonverbal currently. There's not a lot of dialogue in the book. It's all body language, kind of like how bees communicate. Even the coping mechanisms, it's all pictographically done in my illustrations on how to ground. Um, so that's the angle the book was going for.
Mr. Gunn, what role does technology or energy play in shaping character relationships or power dynamics?
So, I mean, considering Bolt is a robot, uh, hard, metal, cold, I mean, everything you would expect. It is essentially, when you think about it, it's me. It's a man. It's a male of our species. We are looked at to be, machines. So it's that cold exterior of technology, and the fact that it has to understand the soft, warm, sticky parts of being human. The things that make you cry, the things that make you cower. I mean, one of the scenes in the book I actually wrote after I had a cardiac event in my backyard. My heart was just beating uncontrollably. I thought my atrial fibrillation came back, and I was like, this is the big one. And it felt like a storm closing in on me. And that storm took presence on the pages. It's a big part of the book. So, I mean, technology fighting against the soft parts of human nature. It's the leather and lace, it's the hard on soft that I think, although they clash, they blend together very well.
Let's talk about the themes and symbolism, Mr. John. What themes were you most passionate about exploring through this book?
Self-soothing and also emotional identity, emotional intelligence, because there's a lot of people out there who will just have road rage moments. They will have moments of panic where they just kind of freak out on their loved ones. And it's because we don't understand electronically what's going on in our heads. And our brains just kind of glitch and we do things that are out of the norm. So the theme of the book is just kind of identifying those and gaining a little more intelligence so that when it comes down to those times where the you feel those electrical impulses start to build up before you discharge at somebody, you can kind of ground yourself, take that static and put it into some positive energy.
Does voltage serve as a metaphor for something deeper, such as emotional imbalance, societal disruption, or identity crisis?
I identify as emotionally disturbed. I am in therapy for stress, anxiety, depression, and I have trauma. I've been in several car accidents. So Bolt is actually it wasn't apparent to me when I wrote the book, but as I finished the book and I've been talking about it more, Bolt is me as a cartoon. Basically, I've made myself a robot because I've at 19 years old I had a kid and I moved forward from that. I found a way to make it work. It was hard, but I am 41 years old now. My son is 22 years old and he is a productive member of society. And guess what? I have a second child who is also a productive member of society, going to college. And so I know that I did my thing by pushing forward, and I think that the book will show my kids that they can do the same thing I did. I found hills and I got the hell over them.
How does your story address the consequences of being out of sync, whether personally, socially, or technology?
Well, I think it touches base with being out of touch with your own emotions. And that's a very important thing to talk about because it's something not a lot of people do discuss. The biggest thing you'll see if you go to any online thing is the words "I'm fine," you know, and everyone says fine means fucked up, insecure, needy, and emotional. You know, I'm fine does not mean that you're fine. It means that you need a hug or something like that. So the book aims to make fine again.
So, Mr. John, let's talk about the creative process of your book. How long did it take you to develop the story from concept to completion?
So I created Bolt as a character over a year ago while my wife was on vacation. But the story, I would say, started writing his story about 6 to 7 months ago, and it really gained focus right around Christmas. I did an entire series of Christmas pictures of my character. We sold one, turned a couple into sweatshirts, sold some of those as well. And then we decided to pull those down and not sell any more of the paintings. We're going to turn that into a Christmas story. But um, it just it's kind of been like falling upward constantly with this character. He constantly presents me with a new way to move him forward, and the community really rallies around him.
Did you face any major creative challenges while writing Vault, Mr. John?
The biggest creative challenge I have is currently the one I'm in. It's not so much writing the book, it's definitely not drawing the book. It is marketing the book. And I think any author would agree one of the hardest parts about writing a book is actually getting people to want to read it. You know, we can get our ideas out, but so currently I'm running a Kickstarter campaign, which you've been showing also, and that links lots of people over to the story behind it. So that's my biggest struggle has been trying to market that campaign and hit that goal. We got 28 days left, and I think the last I checked, we need about $2,000 left.
Mm.
No, we're a lot closer to that. We need about $625 according to the Kickstarter. So that's that. Today was a kind of an exciting day. We did get a large number. We're waiting to make sure that that number does in fact stay there because we went from $1,600 last night to 3,075 today,
Yes.
but I haven't seen any new backer names hit the list. So I'm slightly concerned that it might, be an overpayment that'll get taken back. But either way, that was something incredible to wake up to today because I posted a bunch of videos saying we have 28 days, and then we immediately had that like an hour and a half later.
Awesome. And congratulations,
Thank
Mr.
you, thank you.
John. And what will be your short term and long term goals in writing?
So short-term goals was publishing a book, and guess what? That happens actually May 26th, 2025. We will be publishing globally, low voltage. Uh, but my long-term goals, my wife wants me to write a second book. She actually wants to take the story for Out of Sync and kind of make a longer version, like a pictureless version for adults, like a novel. But for now, I'm going to work on a second series where Bolt maybe finds a companion pet. We have two dogs, so two dogs, three cats. I'm an animal person, so I can see Bolt interacting with animals in a new way in the next book.
The other version of Eva and Wally. So let's talk
Yep.
about the reader experience and impact. What kind of emotional or intellectual reaction do you hope readers have after finishing the book?
Well, luckily, I was able to share my finished product with I chose 10 people that I trust well enough to read the full e-copy. This way, I had some credible data, and I went from mental health creators to veterans to educators to someone in the cooking field. So I wanted somebody from every field to take a look at it, including my father-in-law. And I think some of the most valuable information I got was actually from my father-in-law. He took a very big interest in the creative process and asked a lot of questions you've been asking. But man, like I said, the community that falls behind this thing has been incredible.
Certainly. Before I forgot, good luck to your goal, Mr. John, and
Thank
hoping
you.
for the success of more and more and more upcoming books to come. And what will be your advice for those people out there who want to write their own book too?
If you want to write your own book, do not wait till tomorrow. Get the ideas on paper today and get them out there as soon as you can because everyone's ideas are worth putting out there.
Definitely. And stop procrastinating, people. If you have the passion to write, write, and share your talents to the world. And thank you for your advice, Mr. John. How have readers responded so far? And did any feedback surprises you?
So far, I've been doing really good. I haven't had any negative feedback on the book. Even I expected from my veteran um, testers to have kind of a pushback. Even they kind of liked the character because it didn't feel. They said it didn't feel like they were being therapized. They didn't feel like it was mental health. They were just reading a story. It was cute. They cared about the character. They learned a little something. They thought it was that my one soldier thought it was kind of weird because in part of the book, Bolt as a grounding technique, I show him hugging a tree, and they're like, "Dude, you made a robot hug a tree." I'm like, "I did make a robot hug a tree." It's again, it's hard on soft. Those metaphors hit. So
Do you think the story offers a cautionary message, a hopeful vision, or both?
I think it is going to be a vision of Bolt because, quite honestly, Bolt is going to give people hope. I've already told the story to many people. I've had people thank me for writing this so far, and it's just that in itself is kind of takes me back a bit. I'm not great at taking compliments, so when someone thanks me for my work, it's like I feel like a doctor you thank for healing you. Me for writing a book so much. Hey, I really like your book. That's great, but it just feels weird to be thanked for writing something. But it was really
Definitely.
cool.
Definitely. It's a validation that you're good in what you're doing. Future
Precisely.
projects and final thoughts. Do you plan to write a sequel or expand the world of Vault?
I do. I think we're going to go a little further with some more characters. I don't think I see the human element coming back anytime soon. We're going to keep it robotic, keep it that hard on soft, and we're going to dig into some more emotions. Um, I've been out of therapy for about 3 months now, so I might actually have to go back into my therapist to try to get a little more going. But um, that is my big goal. Is we're going to definitely go into a sequel, possibly a 3 or 4 book series. I feel like this first one's going to make a big dent, and if it does, we are definitely going to jump towards uh, more books in the future.
Good luck for that, Mr. John, and looking for more and more empowering books like this to come. So, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to one of my audiobooks, people. Audiobooks, because Book 101 Review Volume 3 Suggestions is on Audible, Book 101 Review Volume 2 Selected, and Book 101 Review Volume 1 highly recommended. These are the products of my first season on Book 101 Review, and one of my self-help books, Threads of Existence, Weaving the Tapestry of Life, and Stand Tall, Stand Together, Breaking the Chains of Bullying, and Life is Too Short, a journey of discovery, fulfillment, and joy. And my climate change book, Earth's Fever, The Unraveling Climate and Our Race to Restore Balance. They are available on Audible, people, and one of the bestsellers. So, Mr. John, what message or question would you like readers to carry with them after turning the final page of Bolt?
If you know somebody who is exploited at their job, if they're overworked and underpaid, if you know a student who's going through puberty who doesn't understand what's going on in their life, if there's someone who's in crisis, my book might help. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a guy trying to make myself understand why I was out of sync for the last couple of years. This book might help. It teaches things I learned in therapy, and I want people to understand that if I can fix myself, you can fix yourself too.
Certainly, Mr. John D. Wandzilak Jr. Thank you so much for sharing Bold to the world and for sure your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your upcoming book, Bold Voltage Out of Sync?
Absolutely. If you would like to support the book, please head on over to Kickstarter and check us out.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. John D. Wandzilak Jr. because if you support him, more and more and more empowering books like this to come. So, Mr.
Right.
John, thank you so much for your time.
Daniel, thank you for having me on. Have a wonderful day.
Yes. More to come, people. See you soon.